Hey, hey, welcome in. Let the good vibes all begin. Something good is about to happen. Sure. I've been waiting on you. Got a seat with your name. Started with a coffee chat. Now we about to change the game. You got a story worth telling, and I got a room full of ears. So drop whatever you've been holding. Get ready because your time is here. Because when real people talk to real people, something shifts. When real stories meet real listeners, something lifts. Every Saturday we show up and we bring our best. Show up to Carrie Connects and leave it best. Show up, show up. Something is happening here. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. This is your moment, come near. Where every story intersects and every heart connects. From a coffee chat to the main stage, just bring who you are. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. Connection is the start. Carrie Connects. Entrepreneurs, voices, friends, where inspiration never ends. You did not come this far just to sit in the back. Everything you are through, we're getting you ready for that. So step into the light. Let somebody see your face, because the right conversation can change everything in this place. Because real people talk to real people, something shifts. And real stories meet real listeners, something lifts. Every Saturday we show up and we bring our best. Show up to Carrie Connects and leave it bright. Show up, show up. Something is happening here. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. This is your moment, come near. Where every story intersects and every heart connects. Over coffee chat to the main stage, just bring who you are. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. Connection is the start. We started over coffee just to see if it was real. Yeah, you opened up and showed me everything you feel. Now the world is watching and they save the very best chance. Carrie Connects is where somebody finally cares. Show up, something is happening here. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. Listen, you know it, come near. Every story intersects and every heart connects. From the coffee chat to the main stage, just be who you are. Carrie Connects. Real conversations, real connections. This is Carrie Connects. Show up.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to another amazing edition of Carrie Connects. As you know, I am Coach Carrie, and I'm super excited to be joined here today by our esteemed guest. Oh, that is me live on my cell phone as well. So you probably heard an echo, but at least I know that my sound is on today. So I am super excited to welcome Dr. Donna Smith Bellinger here to Carrie Connects this Saturday. So we are going to have just an amazing, amazing conversation. And so, Dr. Bellinger, welcome to Carrie Connects. How are you doing today?
I'm absolutely fabulous. How are you?
I am always doing amazing. Love to hear that you are fabulous as well. So let's just jump right into it. Tell us who you are, what you do, and don't leave anything out.
Okay. Well, there's a lot. So, who I am on a personal side is a mother, grandmother, wife, all of those things. A lover of jazz and murder mysteries. Those are some of my things.
All
So,
right.
because people don't always know that about me, they see me as my role. And I just got through doing a talk at Madison College in Wisconsin, and I
Mhm.
was talking about conversations, belonging and inclusive conversations. And
Mm.
one of the things that I drove home to the audience was, you are not your role. We forget that. And so when you introduce yourself, you go immediately into the role as opposed to the person and the why. So that's who I am as a person. Uh, what I do as a role is I am a fractional sales manager. I discovered years ago that sales is my natural language. And I also realized that people have a thing when they hear the word sales. They
Mhm.
automatically think this is manipulative and pushy, and they're just worried about taking my money. No, no, no. As an infant, you excelled at sales. You knew who to smile for and you knew who to cry for in order to get what you wanted. As you began to interact with other people and seeking more approval, it shifted a little bit. And you became more concerned with the outward views of you than being true to who you are. So when I am working with owner operated businesses, because that's what I work with, who are doing professional services, I work with them to get them to listen more than they speak. And when they do speak, to speak into the listening and the desires and the goals of the person that they are addressing. Because frankly, all sales is two entities reaching a mutually beneficial result.
That is so profound. That's it. Two entities reaching a mutually beneficial result. And I absolutely, absolutely love that. And we're going to continue to talk about who you are, continue to explore your journey. If you all have any questions or comments, please drop them and continue to leave those for our guests as well. Thank you if you are watching live from any of the places that we live stream, including YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So we are live and in person. I do want to take a moment to say hello to a few people before we move on, because you talked about it being mutually beneficial. And so this is some of my family and friends here. And I definitely want to make sure to give them a shout out, because this is how we grow, right? This is sales. We need our audience, we need people. And so I want to take a moment to say hi to David Jones, who is joining us from Thailand. Definitely want to take a moment to say hi to Miss Leslie Flowers, who is joining us from the Carolinas. And also want to take a moment to say hi to Layla, who is joining us from Canada. Now, Jackie, I don't know where you are, but Jackie is joining us as well. Michigan. I do know where she is. She is in Michigan. And oh my goodness, look at North Carolina showing out in the 90-degree weather. All right. Again, just a quick reminder, make sure that you drop your questions. And we have Christy Williams checking in from Florida. We have Camille checking in from Arizona. And just a few people who are excited to meet you. And so we want to make sure that we continue to spread the wealth. Layla says we are more than just the title. She absolutely loves that. And for a lot of people, I'm glad you talked about it. Sales is a trigger. And part of that is because of what you said. People don't really understand sales. And we've been selling since we were babies, knowing who to talk to. And look, you done made a new friend. Christy loves murder mysteries as well. I'm just going to assume this is Damien. I'm not 110% sure. His name never shows up, but our mystery guest is in Washington, D.C. And from Texas, we have Kenneth Dunner, who always reminds us that life is phenomenal and we should savor the flavor. Another friend from Canada here is Gregory Liverpool. And then I got to say hi to Master Jedi Avenger Jay. We love all things Avengers, and he is joining us from Massachusetts. So just continue to drop your questions and your comments in the comment section. And so I want to talk to you just a little bit as I put the comments up on the stage. People can continue to engage. You went from a homeless teenage mom at the age of 18 to an assistant school director at the age of 21, leading technical sales teams by the time you were 23. Like, what was the moment that you realized those limitations that you just talked about, those were just opinions and not facts?
Okay, let me clarify something. Okay,
Okay.
because I didn't emerge as this person I am today. There was a road to that. When I had my son, my father and my stepmother put me out with a 6-week-old baby and told me the following: no good man will ever want you, and you'll be working the streets in 6 months. Now, yes, I went on to do a lot of things professionally because I had a little life that deserved the very best that I could give to them. All right. And the stars aligned for me, and I'll share a little bit of that professional part. But that no good man will ever want you thing, I carried that on the hump of, I got that little hump thing on it. Yeah, it was right here with me. It was following me. And so I didn't get married until I was 51.
Wow.
I dated people who were such bad choices that my late brother told my husband, he said, if you and Donna ever get divorced, Steve, we keeping you. So
Be your own people.
but we just gonna keep you. So when it came to my progression from, my first job as a parent, I did factory work. Everybody starts where they start.
Absolutely.
And I quickly determined this was not where I wanted to be. Took a few classes. Thank you, EEOC. I got hired by Chain, and they put me into an administrative position. Hated that. And so through a couple of other transitions, I decided I was going to go back to school. And when I went back to school, I visited, of course, a couple of options, and I went to one school and I wanted to take computer operations. And the admissions director said, well, your test scores are so high, we feel you should take the programming class. And I said, took it in high school, don't want that, thank you. I want this. And I got some pressure, you know how that happens with certain salespeople. And I smiled and I said something that I use all the time to diffuse conversations I no longer want to engage in. I said, I am so sorry I wasted your time. That's it. Okay.
That is so good.
Yeah, I am so sorry that I wasted your time. Me and my financial aid will just let you get on with your day. Have a nice day. He called me that night and he said, we would love to have you come on in and take that operations class you want. But I also want to offer you a job. I want you to work for me because nobody ever tells me no. Guess what? As the saying used to go, you got the right one, baby.
Okay.
So I went into that school as a student, worked over the 8-month program in a variety of different areas in the school, and I graduated as their first assistant admissions director. Now, this is where it's important that you understand roles and titles. He said, I want to make you the assistant to the director. I said, I won't accept that. And he said, why? I said, because assistant two is an administrative role. I've been assistant two. I know what that is. That's not who I plan to be. He says, fine, then who do you want to be? I want to be the assistant admissions director. And there it went. And I made sure that my father and my stepmother were front row center at my graduation and when they welcomed me to the staff. And you could have bought them for pocket lint. But
I
I
love
realized at that point in time that sales was my natural language.
it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of different ways that this works in your personal life and also in your career. And that's one of the things that I do train on, in addition to working with owner operated businesses. And that's how I
Mm-hmm.
wound up doing a lot of the talks that I have done. I am an award winning speaker.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Now, when we had our coffee chat, Dr. Danya, you made a distinction between being herded and being led. Can you break that down for us? Like, how does somebody know which one is happening to them right now?
Oh, that's easy. The first thing you have to do is determine what your desired outcome is.
Mm,
And that goes from projects you work on, relationships you engage in,
mm-hmm.
jobs that you may or may not accept, because you have to say, my goal in this activity is X. All right. Now, if you are being herded, that pretty much means you're killing yourself to make somebody else's dream come true.
Mm,
Whether it's you're trying to become that person that your partner wants you to be, as opposed to being true to who you are, that's being herded. Whether you are killing yourself to make somebody else's dreams come true, that's definitely being herded,
definitely.
you know. Or is the person that you are conversing with, the person you are working with, living with, actively helping you to reach that desired outcome? You're being led. You're being led. I was fortunate to determine that kind of early. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there was one job that I took, and if you've ever heard me speak, I bring this one up because it's one of the experiences that hits home with a lot of people when I share.
Mm-hmm.
I took a job. I was the youngest person in the room. I was the only woman in the room. I was the only person of color in the room. And
Mm-hmm.
as a new manager on that team, instead of being greeted and welcomed into that, one of my peers looked me up and down and said, "Oh, you sure must be good at what you do, because they did not hire you for your looks."
Oh my God.
Now, did it make me feel a certain kind of way? Yeah, I drove from Oklahoma City to Wichita at 115 miles an hour. It
Mm-hmm.
was a rental car. I didn't care. Um, but my team and I basically put something together that put him in his place. We beat him in numbers every single week. Yes, they hired me because I know what I'm doing, because I can show you better than I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to determine, and I have t-shirts and a mug and all these other things, and I don't know if it's going to show up good here, but this is one of my talks. I know my non-negotiables.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to know what your non-negotiables are.
Absolutely.
And so that if it means when you're negotiating for a position or a project, and you say, okay, but I have to leave Fridays at 2 p.m. because my kids play sports. I will not work on my personal religion's holidays. I won't work
Mm-hmm.
on high holidays. I want whatever it happens to be. You have to know, because if they're doing certain things to you, generally it's because you gave them permission to.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you gave them permission to do that. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't discuss it, you didn't negotiate it, you accepted it out of fear. Fear has no place in your progress.
Mm. I love that. Layla said knowing to say no when it doesn't align with who you are and where you want to go. And I think that speaks to what you're talking about now, that you have to know who you are so that you can know what to say yes to, but also what to say no to is just as important. What would you say to that?
Oh, another position I had. I was sales. The director left. They said, we would love for you to take on that position. I said, why? And
Mm-hmm.
well, because we feel you. No, no, I wasn't asking why you want me. I'm asking you, why should I accept it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I would, what I did in that instance was I told them I will accept it if we come to an agreement that I will never make less than the highest paid sales rep.
Mm,
And I will always hit our numbers, you know. So, yes.
I love that.
And
Jay
they
said,
bit.
go ahead.
No, they bit. And then later, I had one of the guys say, you know what? You're a nice looking woman. I was, okay, here we go, looks again. And you should let a man take care of you so a man can have this position. To which I said to him, if you had a man qualified to take this position, it never would have been offered.
Mm,
And then
I
within
love,
2 months, I quit. And
hmm.
within 2 years, they were out of business.
I believe that. I believe that.
So you have to do what you know is right for you. I had to
Hmm.
tell another boss once who was kind of acting some kind of way. I said, you don't understand that the Lord is the source of my supply. He took care of me before I ever knew you existed. He will take care of me after I leave here. You are simply the tool that he's using to meet my needs at this time. Yes, I
Hmm.
called him a tool and I got away with it. But, but this, these are all examples because you were asking me, and I mean, I'm old, so I got a lot of them. But these are instances where I just want you to reflect on times when, if you could go back and redo it, if I knew then what I know now,
Hmm.
you reframe certain conversations that you had that later did not serve you. How would you reframe those conversations? Because this is not about ego. This is not, I drank the Kool-Aid. This is, no, I was a parent first. And I knew that if they were paying me, and I want you all to own this in whatever role you're in, if they are paying you, you are making them more money than they're paying.
Yeah.
So you have value. If they are paying you, you are making them more money than you are receiving.
That's so true. That's so true. Jay
So you,
Trivedi said, how you're speaking shows that you are successful. I love that comment.
thank you so much.
So I love that you said that you were able to use certain language. And I think that comes with a certain type of confidence. But you also say that most people don't have a motivation problem, that they really have a process problem. But it sounds like your process, part of your process is your confidence. What would you say? What does that process problem like look like inside of business?
Okay, if I understand the question, you want me to explain the process that I lead my people to so that they can identify next steps and goals and things like that. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, versus motivation. You said that people don't have a motivation problem, they have a process problem.
Yeah,
So
they
in any
do.
way that you want to share that, yeah.
Sure. So we have a tendency to live a very reactive lifestyle.
Hmm. Hmm.
We how can I? One of the things that's been said about small business owners and business owners in general is we react to things that either cause us pain, or give us pleasure.
Hmm.
Those are the things that we immediately kind of jump on. Unfortunately, in our lives, we have a tendency to react more to the pain and to focus on the pain. A friend of mine was heading to a funeral this morning when she called me. And she says, oh, I'm so tired of going to funerals and da 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 da. I said, no, you're not. They had their time. You are in your time. Do not waste your time and the blessing of this day worrying about that. Acknowledge their gifts, acknowledge their contributions, but that's not your day.
Hmm.
See, that's not what today is about. And so far too often we get hooked into social media and into a lot of the other noise that is going on, and we fill our cup with that, as opposed to what do I need to create for myself and the people who depend on me.
Mm. I love that. That is so profound because a lot of times it seems like, in particular, as women, we put other people, other things, other situations ahead of ourselves. And
We're
so,
raised to do that from our first baby doll.
yep,
From our first
absolutely.
baby doll. Men are raised to negotiate and to be strong and to be the provider, the leader.
Hmm.
And so even if they don't have those skills, that's the attitude of, because I'm the man.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, no. That's a DNA thing. That's got nothing to do with your talents and your skills and all those other things. Okay. When I'm
Yeah.
working with, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I was just agreeing with you. I said absolutely.
Mhm.
I agree with you that we are raised a certain type of way to believe certain types of things about who we are, how we're supposed to behave. So that conditioning is true. And I think that impacts our motivation. I think that impacts the type of process that we think might work for us. So I agree with you 110% that there is a significant difference in how we are raised that impacts what it looks like for us inside of business. Now, I know that you have trained and led predominantly male sales team throughout your career.
Yeah.
So, what did you learn about leadership from those rooms that most leadership books don't tell us about? Give us the inside scoop.
Okay, here's part of the inside scoop. When you are working with your people, ask them, and I touched on this earlier, but I'm just going to bring it back up right now. Ask them, what do you want to have happen as a
Mm,
result of you doing this?
mm-hmm,
What do you want? What are your goals? We don't even ask ourselves that. So the bottom line is, what are your goals? When I'm talking to new hires and onboarding people, or even when I'm talking to business owners, and I say, what are your goals? The first thing they're going to say typically, not
mm-hmm,
everybody, but typically, is the thing that they think is impossible.
mm,
And it's usually low. It's usually low. For instance, I had a person I was onboarding, and her manager said, "Yep, she decided that, her goal for this year is going to be $100,000." I said, "No." So, and this was 10 years ago. And I
mm-hmm.
said, "Nah, not really." I said, "So you can't be in a room when I have this conversation. I'm 1099. You can get sued. I can't." I went in and I had a quick conversation with her, and I said, "So I hear you're going to do 100K. Yes, that's great. Let me ask you a question. You married or single?" Single.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get married one day? Yeah. Do you want to marry first class or coach?
Great question.
First class. Great. And then what else do you want to accomplish? Well, I want to invest in real estate and I want to travel. Da, 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 da. Great. Can we agree that $100,000 will keep you from being fired, but $200,000 will give you the lifestyle you deserve?
Come on now.
And she came out the gate swinging because I shifted her priorities. She was no longer in fear of what will happen if she doesn't hit that 100K mark. She was now working for herself, not for them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are considering your goals, aim high and know then the process is identifying the deliverables you have to create in order for you to reach that particular goal.
Mm-hmm.
One person told me, I want to have this particular role in my company. This is the title that I want. Terrific. So who do you need to meet? What do you need to learn? Who needs to know that you want to do this? Those are the plans. Those are the plans. I have a client I'm working with now who's in construction. And the deal that he and I had to come up with is we have to set the deliverables up such that
Mm-hmm.
you can be the face of the company, but you can go on a month-long vacation and the company will still thrive.
Oh, that's so good.
Because right now he's micromanaging everything. I'm like, no, 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 we can't do that. We can't do that, because when you do that, do you know what you have? You have a job that you own. You don't have a business.
That's right.
So
That's absolutely correct.
knowing the goals, knowing the desired outcome, having someone who not only helps you to create the process, but holds you accountable, to sticking to the plan. And I can't tell you how many times I've had clients come to me and say, you know what, they said this, and I could hear you in my ear telling me how I needed to respond. Like, don't get snarky, don't get evil, don't da 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 da, say this. And I'm like, there you go. See?
I love it. I love it. And sometimes you have to hear those voices of the people who have poured into us. And
Mhm.
Layla says we all have those popular beliefs that hinder us. And it does take time to recognize those barriers and then to break them as well.
Yeah. And so here's how I broke through that other thing that I told you I was carrying. I created this thought. People used to always say, you need to draw a line in the sand. You ever heard that one? You
I've
need to
heard.
just draw a line in the sand. This, no, we're not going to do that. I said, okay, this is what I tell my students and my clients. You draw the line in the sand behind you, because you've
Oh,
already been there.
love it.
You are not drawing a line in the sand, creating yet another barrier you have to step over. So when I determined that this stuff here was lessons learned, tuition paid, now let's move forward. That line in the sand is behind you, and I'm never going back there again.
I love that. That's so smart and it's profound because a lot of people get stuck in the past. And I do a lot of self-development and read a lot of leadership books, and they do really talk about how if you want to move forward, how you have to learn from the past, but you can't stay in the past. So that idea of drawing the line behind you is profound because a lot of people draw the line in front of them and then they have to try to figure out how to step over it. So even just that visualization is so powerful. Jay says on the topic of leadership, what do you think is the biggest challenge in leadership today?
The biggest challenge in leadership right now, a couple of things. Number one, when you are doing a promotion, when you're promoting someone within your team, make sure that you're not promoting them just because they're the best at whatever it is that team does,
Mm,
because the skill set is totally different between production and leadership. The second thing is you must provide them transitional support. And that means they need to be someone who is inclusive. Again, they are not hurting.
mm-hmm.
Okay, we're in a culture right now where people are trying to herd us into
Yes.
certain directions and distract us from seeing certain things, and you don't need that in your team. You don't need that in your company. Some people get a promotion and they drink the Kool-Aid. Hey, I got the title, so now I'm. No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't drink that Kool-Aid.
Right.
Because if you're still working for somebody else, guess what? You're still dispensable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the biggest challenge is how to balance leadership and accountability.
That's good.
Those are the two biggest things that you have to balance as a leader, and also building the inclusive culture within your team or your business.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a saying that says, belonging or whatever, you get invited to the party,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but inclusion is being asked to dance.
Oh, so many nuggets. I love
So,
that.
so there's a difference. between belonging and inclusion. And inclusion can be as simple as, and I used to ask my team this all the time, what is it that's going on right now that's keeping you from doing your best work?
Mm-hmm.
Because that should be my problem. Give it to me. That's what a leader does. A leader leads. We remove barriers so that our people can shine.
That is phenomenal. Now, how would you develop leadership skills when you're not in your preferred role? That's a question from Layla out of Canada.
Layla, the first thing you need to determine is what is your preferred role?
Mm-hmm.
What are the skills that you need to develop in order to fit into that role? And then not letting fear interfere. Are you in the right environment to meet your goals? Because if you're in a place that maybe culturally is not going to see you, hear you, value you, it's time for you to go shopping
Mm-hmm.
and find the place that will. But learn as much as you can in your current role and your current opportunities within that group, because I refer to things like that as a paid internship. Okay. Because that job is financing your future. That's all they're doing. You're going to learn, you're going to grow. And then, because we don't leave companies, typically we leave management. If they're not going to hear you, see you, value you, you need to take all of your gifts someplace that will, so that it will help you to meet your desired outcome. I hope that's helpful.
That helped me. Hopefully, it helped Layla as well. But I love that idea of looking at your role and first knowing what your preferred role is. And I
Which I
think a lot
applaud
of,
Layla for. Yes.
yes, I applaud Layla as well. A lot of people are not really sure what role they want, what they should do. And I remember Maya Angelou saying, you can be whatever you want to be. So try a little bit of everything until you find what fits. And I love how you said, take your gifts with you, right? But and I love that language of a paid internship. They're financing your future. So I know you built your career in financial services, real estate, insurance, legal, consulting.
Those are
What,
businesses that I have served. Absolutely.
yeah. So what's the one sales mistake you see across those industries?
Again, fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear. Fear is a big one. Um, and managers need to not be afraid to let go of people who are not serving the agenda. Okay. Which is why you don't necessarily hire family and you don't necessarily hire friends.
Mm-hmm.
A conversation I had with a person who was in financial services and complaining about what the people were or were not doing. I said, how do you hire? Where do you find the people that you're hiring? Well, they're my fraternity brothers and they're this and they're that. I said, now I'm going to ask you a question because these are all men, right? And he went,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah. I said, okay, great. I already knew what he was going to say because this is so typical when I hear the complaint he was giving. I said, who are your hardest workers and your best producers? And he says, well, we've got some women who, and he called himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said, yes, yes, because they don't have that safety net. They don't have the presumption of favoritism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you are beginning to go through your next round of hiring, develop leaders from the pool of people who are giving you their very best and help them transition into these roles that will serve you better. Because if you go bankrupt, those brothers are not going to come and pick you up. They're not going to pay your car note. They're not going to, whatever. They're not going to do that. They may help out a little bit, but they're really not going to carry you.
That's true.
But the people who work with you in your business are the ones who are going to carry you.
Mm-hmm.
And you reward them not by giving them a raise, but by growing them into their next level of best.
Such great language, growing them into their next level of best. And that really, really is such a great perspective. Now, I want to shift a little bit because I know that you wrote two books. You wrote one book is called You Lost Me at
You lost
Hello,
me at hello. Actionable
and
principles that move you beyond networking.
sales is not about wait and see.
Do you want to get paid now or eventually?
Come on now with the titles and the subtitles. So, what's the conversation that business owners are getting wrong before they even get to the pitch?
Okay, so You Lost Me at Hello is a book on networking, and it's very, very conversational. And I got tired of answering the same questions over and over again. So I wrote a
Mhm.
book. For $12, you too can. I don't do those like $25. Look, I'm trying to help people who are trying to get
Right.
to afford the 50 or 80 or whatever dollar book. I'm trying to help you to break through again to your next. One of the things that I have in the very first chapter of that book is very simple. Not everyone is going to like you, and you really don't want them to because it's too time consuming.
Mm. Amen to that.
That's it. That's the first level right there. Everybody doesn't want to be, a huge superstar, Taylor Swift or a Beyonce or whomever, because think of how many people are at them. And one of my favorite authors has a phrase he peppers in his books from time to time. It's like being nibbled to death by ducks.
Oh,
You got all of these little people pulling at you, and
yeah.
yeah, no, they all want a little piece of you. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
that because you're working to live, not living to work.
Mm.
Second thing, if you go into a networking event, don't just walk in there and start handing out business cards like Tic Tacs. What you want to do is be memorable.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to walk in. If I go into a networking event, hi, who are you? Well, I'm Dr. Donna Smith Bellinger. What do you do? I help people create their own economies so
Mm.
that they can continue to support the people who depend on them so they can live the life that they deserve. That's what I do. What
Mm-hmm.
about you? I don't say, oh, well, I'm a fractional sales manager and I work with, they don't care. But if I tell them my why and my what, now it's kind of like, oh, that's a little bit more memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you ask them a question, either make a note on your phone, jot something on the card so that when you reach back out to them, you can say, hey, we talked about this at that particular event. I'd like to continue the conversation. Or just tell them right then and there, you know what, that's kind of interesting. Can we have a cup of coffee and talk about it? I know we got other people to meet here in the room, but I'd like to continue this conversation. Know who's going to be in the room before you get in the room and know why you are in the room. Is it business development? Is it education? Is it to support a friend? Why are you in the room, and work towards that goal while you're in the room?
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
it's for business development purposes, please, people, dress the part. It's not a nightclub. I don't know how else to put that. I can always tell the women who are single when I go into a networking event, or
Mm-hmm.
the women who feel that their image is more important than their intellect. Ladies, take a look at this fact. We're walking around, not me anymore, but we're walking around in 3-inch heels, trying to be cute. Men got on athletic shoes. Their feet are not going to hurt, and they're going to focus on why they're in there. There are really comfortable shoes out there. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying, if you're going to have to cover a whole lot of ground at that particular event. Now, would I change my shoes when I go on stage? Absolutely. Sometimes.
Right. I was just thinking that.
Sometimes. Because if you looked at the pictures of me yesterday at Madison College, I had on my Hokas. I was not
Mm.
trying to play. Those are hard floors in those college campuses. And it's like, no, no, and it's a casual thing. So dress the part and look like you are the person that you want other people to want to introduce you to as a valuable resource.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's part of being memorable. I'm gonna take 30 seconds to tell you this one other thing. When it comes to your contacts and you start getting all of these cards and things, they fall into three categories: suspects, people you suspect you can do business with eventually; prospects, people are like, oh no, I'm interested, let's have a conversation; and ambassadors, people who may never buy from you, but they are exactly who you need to usher you into your next opportunity. The acronym is SPA. And if you want to learn more about that or anything else that I do, askdsb.com is my website. You're more than welcome to schedule a 20-minute chat with me. I don't sell you. I'm there to support you, because the mission for my business is that the work that I do must affect more than the bottom line, because it is not the transaction, it's the
Mm-hmm.
testimony.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. And then your second book.
Sales is not about wait and see. Do you want to get paid now or eventually?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm talking to a business owner or a salesperson and I'm like, how did the call go? How did the meeting go? Whatever you just did, how was it? And they say, I'm waiting for, no, you're not. No, you're
Mm-hmm.
not. Because what happened is, in whatever activity you just engaged in, you didn't have a desired outcome. You didn't set an agenda, and you
Mm-hmm.
didn't set up follow up. Okay, so when you met that person, was your objective to have a coffee meeting with them afterwards? Yes. Then you set that coffee meeting before you hang up the phone or you leave the restaurant. Was your agenda to close the deal? Yes. Did you clarify what is still needed in order to close the deal? Well, they have to talk to so and so. Okay, so you weren't talking to the right person. So
Mm-hmm.
now we need to go back to them and say, in order to speed this process up, may I meet with you and the decision-making body to answer any remaining questions so we can tell if this is a stop or this is a go. Because based on the information you provided to me, we need to get started now. You don't wait. Your mortgages is going to wait. Your car note's not going to wait. Your kids are not going to wait. You got to do it. Don't let fear stop you from determining if this is something that you need to get off of your plate. Your time is your most valuable resource. Don't waste it.
Couldn't agree with you more. Your time is definitely your most valuable resource. And I also agree with not wasting your time.
Mhm.
And so I try and surround myself with people who are going to pour into me. I'm very generous, very kind, very giving. I show up to people's events. I'm always active in the comments. So I try to be the type of person that I want to have around me. But I also remember you saying that sometimes your friends can be enablers and you can do bad all by yourself. Okay. So, what does a real support system look like for an entrepreneur who wants to grow?
Okay, first of all, Ivan Meisner, who founded BNI, has a saying that I love. The people in your life can either be sails or anchors.
Mm.
They can be sails, get you to where you're going, or anchors, hold
Oh,
you back.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't want the people who, when you say, oh my God, this was a bad month, and their response is, yeah, I know things are really hard right now. Blah, 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 blah. No, we don't need that. That's an enabler. Okay, so what you need is to surround yourself with people who also have goals, even if they're not the same as yours.
Mm.
And you have these conversations where you reinforce, okay, last month you said you were going to do 1 2 3, did you get them done?
Mm.
Okay, last month I said I was going to do ABC. Let me tell you where I stand with that. See, you have to support. Yes, you're right, goal getters, yes,
Yeah.
but that's what you have to do, and those are the people that you have to um, connect with. All it took for me to grow my business, frankly, was to move 30 miles away from the people who are enablers.
Mm.
That's not far. That's not fair. I had to get out of my zip code. And then all of a sudden it's, why did you have to move so far? We're getting ready to go and do this and we're going to do that. I'm like, yeah, but see, my goals, I need to be over here. So I'm not going to be over there. No, I got to be over here now to do what I need to do. And they kind of got left behind. They're still my friends and we still get together from time to time. But I couldn't surround myself with people who didn't have goals near where I wanted to be. You want to surround yourself with people who make you stretch.
Mm-hmm.
People who have already accomplished what you aspire to. But please do not go to them and say, would you mentor me? Do you know what mentoring is? Mentoring is free.
Mm.
You're using my time, and I know how much my time is worth, and you're not going to pay me for it. Now, that doesn't mean we don't mentor. But it does mean that if they take you on, it's because they see something in you that maybe you don't see in yourself. I was mentored by some fabulous people. And bless their hearts, most of them I didn't even have to ask. They just said, hey, you know what? You need to be stop doing, you know. And one person told me point blank, why are you going to sell a course for $99? If the course is $99, why would I pay you $3,000 to deliver the talk if I can get it for $99? It's like, okay, thank you. So you need people who are going to make you stretch. And those are the best ones, even if they're not in your sphere, even if they're not doing the same thing that you're trying to grow into. So you know what? Talk to somebody who knows finances. Talk to someone who knows marketing. Talk to someone who knows social. You know what I mean? Talk to someone who does speaking. Talk to someone who does writing. All of those different people are out there. And, just ask them, hey, who do you follow? What do I need to learn to get better at this? Or who should I hire? Because remember, all you should be doing as a business owner is the things you can't delegate. All you should be doing are the things that only you can do. Everything else.
Absolutely. Delegate, delegate, delegate. And I love that you talked about the different people who poured into you and you didn't even have to ask them. They just offered. Who would you say was your biggest role model and how did he or she play such an important role in your personal and professional life? That's from Jay Trevette.
Jay, thanks for asking, but there was no one individual. There was no one individual. I had one person who I adore who said something to me so profound. I consider her to be a mentor. She is an expert in marketing and market research. Yes, I'm talking about you, Pepper Miller. And she looked at me after I had been something or another, and she heard me speak, and she said, can I swear? Okay.
You do what
She
you want to
said, you are a badass. And it's enough of this humble BS. And I was like, explain.
Right.
But that was a whole mentoring conversation. The person who told me don't do the $99 course and wondered why people are not paying you $3,000. That's it. The person who told me, Donna, you're successful because you took the stupid pill. And I said, what's the stupid pill? And he said, you were too stupid to know you shouldn't be able to do certain things. Right. So you went ahead and you did them.
I love it.
And he was like, keep doing it. Just pop one of those pills every day and just keep doing new. And these are mentors. These are sound bites, and the most important thing to remember is please be coachable. Don't be the smartest person in the room. Be coachable. Listen. And it's like a buffet. Some stuff is good now. Some stuff is good later. Some stuff maybe you didn't need to hear, but now you've got new language to share it with someone else. When I started studying personality types and things like that, I was like, oh, there's words for that. I was feeling these things, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to express these things. So you want to gather the language, and you want to be bigger on listening. And you just don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You can be the smartest person on one topic. Absolutely. And do that thing. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. But don't, gather a whole bunch of people and talk down to them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking to people about what you're doing, don't use industry jargon unless it's appropriate. You're pitching something, and so they expect for you to demonstrate your knowledge by it. But no, those are the most important things, I think.
I love all of what you said, in particular, being able to use your voice in certain spaces and how you mentor people, how you get mentored, and being able to speak and say who you are, what it is that you do. And you come across with such clarity and all of the little phrases that people have poured into you as mentors. Sometimes people think mentorship means that they sit with you once a month or an hour a day or an hour a week. But I love that you mentioned that it's the little sound bites that you pick up from people throughout your lifetime.
Mhm.
And understanding that those sound bites are opportunities for mentorship that you might be able to use now and things that you might be able to use later. This buffet of mentorship, if you will.
Yeah.
And so,
And always just ask an expert. I don't
mm-hmm,
know why we fear that. We fear asking for money. We fear asking for the sale. We fear negotiating. Ask for it. You got nothing to lose because you already don't have it.
okay,
So just ask. And if
that
you need the
right,
knowledge, ask. If they
that's
can't tell
right.
you, they'll tell you who to go ask. But there's fear is just like your greatest barrier to overcome. Just
Mm-hmm,
ask. It's no shame in saying, guess what? I don't know. I don't know.
absolutely.
Or somebody told me this. So should I go here or should I go there? Or is there something I'm not even aware of? And, just,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
those are your little bites of mentorship. Be coachable and admit when you don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's okay.
Yes, absolutely. It is okay. And a lot of times that fear is really what stops us from our progress. It stops us from growing. And I love that you say, well, you don't have it anyway. So as people pour it into you, you got these different sound bites throughout your journey, throughout your professional career. Eventually, you were recognized as the Speaker of the Year by SBOC in 2025. You were honored by Women Who Network. So, what does that recognition mean to you after you built this career doing the work without waiting for permission?
Well, I've got, I have shelves of what I call dustables, those things that people give you in lieu of cash.
Hmm.
So I've been recognized by a lot of different groups and organizations for the work that I do. And my favorite award, although I love these, was one that I got from creating over 15 years ago a virtual program to help women who were ex offenders
Mm.
become virtual assistants and set up their own businesses. I taught them the business end. My husband, who was a Microsoft certified trainer at the time, taught them their skills. And
Wow.
they gave us a plaque for that. That to me, because like I said, it's not the transaction, it's the testimony. Being able to make a difference. When a former student comes and tells me, you told us the truth in class. All of us weren't listening, but now that we're out here, we see it. You told us the truth. I'm like, thank you. That
Hmm.
means the world to me. The recognition is simply the validation that you need to position yourself for more opportunities. So those things are important from a business standpoint. But again, I don't drink the Kool-Aid. And my grandmother's favorite song had the lyrics, if I can help someone as they pass along, then my living shall not be in vain.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. My mother used to say, live your life in such a way that others are blessed just because they know you. Unfortunately, she passed away at the age of 39. So I love this conversation. I love that your grandmother gave you such amazing sayings. But I think what I love the most so far in this conversation is that the award that means the most to you was the one that you got 15 years ago, helping people who were re-entering society to start their own businesses,
Mm-hmm.
which is really saying a lot because I know you've served clients at Morgan Stanley, Edward Jones, Microsoft, the World Organization of Credit Unions. So when you think about those spaces, what does it take to get into those rooms and stay in them?
You have to know people and people have to know you. So it's
Mm,
all about visibility and credibility.
okay.
All right. So again, when you are networking, let people know what you want to do.
Hmm.
What is it that you would like to do? Sometimes you're going to have to do it for free for a minute or two, and that's okay. Because if you're going to have a learning experience, like you flub your lines, or like one time I went to go and give a presentation, and when I got ready to do the presentation, guess what? It didn't get saved to my laptop.
Oh my
Now
goodness.
I'm in front of this corporation and I got jacked. Okay. But the owner was a friend. So it was okay. I got grace on that. You want to get out there and do it. Try it.
Hmm.
That's what you have to do. And the more people who know what you do, and every time you do it to your highest ability, then that's what's going to help. My speaking started, I'm in Chicago. My speaking started when I was recruiting, high school recruiter, and I had to deal with urban youth who would tell me, "Why you have to speak white all the time?"
Mm.
Da, da, da. I said, "Okay, let me explain something to you. I'm not speaking white. Okay, they pay me for 8 hours a day, and for 8 hours a day, I have to give them X. Now, you catch me on the weekend, out and about, and you come at me like that, and all my West Side gonna come out. Just so we clear, you know, just so we clear.
Right.
But you deliver what is expected
Hmm.
without sacrificing your soul. Again, no one ever killed themselves to make somebody else's dreams come true. And basically, what people get now is a cross of those things with me, because after I reached a certain age, my filters got very, very thin.
Hmm.
So I have a tendency to be a little bit more honest and open, you know, with certain things.
Hmm.
But I always remember to honor and respect the person that I am addressing. Just like with you, I was like, okay, is it okay if I do that? This is your
Hmm.
platform, you know, and because you catch me in certain ways, and I'll make a sailor blush.
Right.
But, you know, but I'm always open. I'm always listening. I call it being bilingual. When you're
Hmm.
listening to people, you need to determine how they process information. Okay, so do they talk in pictures? Are they numbers driven? You know, do they have to lord over everybody, or do you have to really ask a lot of questions in order to get the information that you need? It goes with different personality types.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then when you understand that, whatever your solution is, you need to wrap it into the way they process information. So if it's somebody who's in pictures, you're going to say, all right, you're selling real estate. And so what is it you're looking for? Well, I want to be on a half acre. I want to be close to schools. And I da 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 da. Okay, well, picture this. We put you in a house that has the requisite number of bedrooms, bathrooms. You've got the lot. You're close enough to the school that you can safely send your children. And there are enough activities. Can you picture that? What am I asking them to do? Visual.
Visualize. Hmm.
I want them to visualize. Same situation, buying some property, you know, and I need to know what the resale value is, and I need to know this, and I need to know that. Okay, great. So then what you're looking for is someplace that's in this type of an area. It's going to have this type of a draw. It has this type of a resale value. Your taxes are going to be lower because you're not near a school, you know, those types of things. Okay, now you're hitting them where this is.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way you're able to do that is to ask them what their desired outcome is. And anytime I'm having a sales conversation, one of the questions that I teach all of my people to do in their pre-qualification process is ask this: what would be success, your idea of success, if we decide we can work together? What would success look like? That tells you, number one, what their expectations are, so you can determine if they're reasonable or unreasonable.
That does make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, yes, ma'am. And we are just above the hour. And so in closing, I want to ask you, if you had the opportunity to talk to someone who might be in the same situation that you were in, a young mom with a 6-week-old baby, kind of being put out, what do you wish someone had said to you then? Or what would you say to someone that may be in a similar situation?
The first thing is know that your life is not over. It's just started. And your past does not determine your future.
I love that. I have absolutely enjoyed our conversation today. You all make sure that you connect with Dr. Donna on LinkedIn at Donna Smith Bellinger. Are there any other ways that people can reach you? I know you mentioned your website. I will drop all of her contact information in the comment section on all of the various platforms. So make sure that you all connect with her. Her contact information is in the article that I wrote about her. I try and write about all of my guests before it is their time to show up.
Piece. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So any closing comments, closing words, or any upcoming events or projects that you want people to know about?
The most important thing that I want them to remember is, do you need a speaker? Because if you need a speaker, and you're interested in having a speaker who will not put people to sleep, that's me. And I always appreciate introductions. Like I said, you got to put it out there. People don't know. You don't ask, you don't get, and you already don't have it. And then also, if I can support you, please go to www.askdsb.com. Schedule a 20-minute chat with me. I'm not going to try and pitch you anything. Bring me whatever you feel your challenge is, and let's just beat it to death in 20 minutes.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I, for one, am so grateful that you were here today. I appreciate you all being here. You all make sure to continue to leave your comments, ask your questions, share this post if you found value in this information. So one of the things is that this is an opportunity for us to network our community. So make sure that you share this post with your network. And I will see you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an episode of Clarity from the Heart. That is my second podcast. And if you are looking for an amazing guest speaker, reach out to Dr. Donna. That's all we have for you all today. Thank you so much for being on Carrie Connects. And Dr. Donna, if you are available to stay until the song ends, I'll meet with you backstage. Otherwise, thank you for being here.
Hey, welcome in. Let the good vibes all begin. Something good is about to happen. Sure. I've been waiting on you. Got a seat with your name. Started with a coffee chat. Now we about to change the game. You got a story worth telling, and I got a room full of ears. So drop whatever you've been holding, get ready because your time is here. Because when real people talk to real people, something shifts. When real stories meet real listeners, something lifts. Every Saturday we show up and we bring our best. Show up to Carrie Connects and leave it fresh. Sure, something is happening here. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. This is your moment, come near where every story intersects and every heart connects. From a coffee chat to the main stage, just bring who you are. Carrie Connects, Carrie Connects. Connection is the start. Carrie Connects. Entrepreneurs, voices, friends, where inspiration never ends. You did not come this far just to sit in the back. Everything you walk through, we're getting you ready for that. So step into the light.